Liebe Moshpit Army, vielen Dank, dass ihr wieder eingeschaltet habt bei uns auf YouTube, hier bei Moshpit Passion. Heute haben wir gleich zwei Bands, und zwar zum einen BillyBio und Cutthroat LA zusammen in einem Interview. Warum, werdet ihr euch fragen? Ganz einfach, und zwar der gute Billy hat die aktuelle EP von Cutthroat LA produziert, und da habe ich mir gedacht, wenn beide schon zusammen auf Tour sind, möchte ich doch gerne beide in einem Interview zusammen vereint haben. Wird ein super Gespräch werden, kann ich euch jetzt schon vorab sagen, geht über 25 Minuten. Ja, ich möchte auch gerne das Intro an dieser Stelle kurz halten, wünsche euch viel Spaß, würde mich natürlich sehr, sehr freuen, wenn ihr jetzt unseren YouTube-Channel aktiviert, besser gesagt folgt und die Glocke aktiviert, damit ihr keine Interviews in der Zukunft verpasst. Das war's von meiner Seite und los geht's. Hello fans of Moshpit Passion, my name is Kaio. Right next to me, Cutthroat LA. They released 2 weeks ago a new EP called Reflekt, came out on Demons Run Amok Entertainment. We will talk about the current tour and of course the new EP. So guys, you released this little gem here a couple of weeks ago. I listened to it, I love it actually. But how would you describe the development from your previous record to that one here?
The first record was like a demo. It was never really intended to like become all of this. Fernando Schaefer from Worst,
yeah.
The drummer, he was in LA doing Power Flow,
yeah,
recording with Billy, and like they're friends of mine because I've toured with Fernando, yeah, before, and I've met him on the road, and he was in town, so we were just talking, like we're at Billy's studio, just kind of shooting the shit, and Roy Lozano from Downset, Power Flow, had said, hey, why don't we, since we're all here, why don't we record some songs just for fun? And so we did, and we made a demo. This record that we have now, this is a band. Before, it was like Cutthroat was my thing, kind of an idea, morphing out of Downset, starting my own thing. But the people who were a part of this record, this is actually like a band. So we wrote this, Ben wrote material. We have another guitar player that wrote some material, that Ben is Cutthroat. So that's what makes it different. This is authentically us. You know,
it's interesting that you mentioned Fernando Schaefer, because he's living this area, and did an interview with him 1.5 years ago, and he said, yeah, check out Cutthroat LA.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He advertised me to you, and then you came last year here, and that was my, you can say, door opener to your band. It was like, yeah, they're great, they have a cool style, and if I listen to your music, I can see there are a lot of influence of hip-hop in there, a lot of, or I consider to street metal. I don't know if you know the band still well.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some kind of similar style, which I like very, very much. And yeah, you have different styles in your music, beatdown, classic, typical hardcore, hip-hop. But which bands influenced you during your whole career?
I'm gonna let Ben take that one, and then I'll fill in on the hip hop stuff, because a lot of the guitar playing and the beat down and the hardcore comes from this guy here.
Well, I definitely wanted to build on what they had already established with the demos. So a lot of traditional hardcore. I mean, I grew up listening to, you know, Terror, E-Tone Concrete, Hatebreed, Bury Your Dead. I also like to incorporate a little bit of metalcore in my sound. So, you know, a lot of 2005 metalcore is going to be showing up from time to time. All Out War, that kind of thing. Those are the kind of bands that I'm into. Life of Agony.
Life of Agony, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, Only Living Witness. If you listen to Never Settle, that's definitely some references to Pantera, some references to Only Living Witness, stuff like that.
And so, for me, being strictly hip-hop growing up, mostly, anything with music, guitar, anything live has always been kind of foreign to me, because I started like making beats and programming beats on an MPC and rapping, and that's where that comes from. After I was into hip-hop already for, you know, 7 to 10 years, I discovered hardcore, you know, when I was like maybe 16, 17 years old, and really got into hardcore. So I'm kind of a late bloomer with hardcore, and my vocal style, I can't change it. I always will go back to that rhythmic rapping on the kick and the snare. I'm learning now finally at this age, I'm learning how to expand my vocal outside of hip hop, because now I have like a melodic guitar player where I can start writing choruses with melodies and stuff like that. So if you hear like on Drown With Me, first time in my life, I kind of made an attempt to sing like Suicidal Tendencies style, like a rhythmic part. Dun, 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 and then for me, it's like I don't really know how to sing in key, but I learned how to lock into a rhythm. And I think on the next record that we do for Demons, we're going to really explore more choruses, sing-along choruses, and I'm going to really start. So I'm growing out of the hip-hop shell, and I have no shame in saying that I want to learn how to actually sing and be able to, like, one day be able to sing and be able to take this element of hip-hop and incorporate it the proper way. That I think it like has a good blend. E-Town, Concrete, Rage Against the Machine, where it's like you don't necessarily go, that's rap rock.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it is. But it's done so cleverly and it blends so well. It's become its own style of music and singing and vocal production, and like so. I'm still listening to bands like them and influenced by Suicidal Tendencies, Infectious Grooves, you know, Rage Against the Machine, Downset, of course, Biohazard. Those were the bands that I first came on. Like that grew on me for this style of music because of the rap element, you know. But if you listen to Billy, which you guys will be talking to soon, you listen to those guys, they knew more than just rap. I'm still developing that. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm like barely starting what I'm going to become.
I guess it's also not a problem, because hip-hop and hardcore, there are also a lot of similarities from my opinion.
100%, it's the same thing. You know? I think, in my eyes, I think like Agnostic Front is NWA of that time and place in New York.
Definitely.
That's what it is, and they're just expressing and that's why hardcore connects with me more than hip hop does now, because it's like had I just been turned on to it earlier, knew more about New York hardcore back when I was a kid, if that was the first thing my brothers were listening to, because I listened to what my family listened to, passed down to me, I would have probably been a hardcore fan at a lot younger age. But that's exactly like pioneers like Gorilla Biscuits and Agnostic Front, like the bands that we're playing with, like Toby from H2O is a hardcore hip-hop head. Like he's just all hip-hop on our bus, but he's an amazing hardcore singer. Like I identify with that. Like, you know what I mean?
How do you see the development over the years? For instance, when hip-hop came up, it was about rap music, breakdancing, and spraying graffiti. You know, these were the true elements of hip-hop. And of course, hardcore applied some things, and changed it for their style, because it came from punk rock, rock music. And now over the years, it changed a little bit because of the variety of metal music came into hardcore, or hardcore came into metal music, and a lot of people were like, the new elements are the clothes, how you look, how you dressed, and on your social media account, how many likes you can get, and not about the traditional values. You know what I mean? What's hardcore about? It's getting more lost. Do you think that is a state of time that it's happening, or that people maybe forget about what it's really about, those things, if you think about that?
Well, what I think is, like anything with time will lose its authenticity. Authenticity, thank you. Things become watered down a bit, and it's like anything, it's like mixed martial arts, you know. In the very beginning, you have your raw root elements of what makes that. Like that's what hardcore and punk rock was. It's like if back in the day, if you said hardcore, you specifically were talking about a specific group of bands that you knew were just for hardcore. If you said punk rock now, because of the evolution of it, people like kids like me are coming into it, and other people, and they're making their own kind of versions. I don't think it's a bad thing if you stay true to if you know what hardcore is about and you stay true to that. I think you can contribute any style or sound to it as long as you have the value of hardcore in your heart. So I like the fact that that there's different varieties of hardcore music that you can pick and choose from, because I'm all over the map with the kind of music that I like. Yeah,
okay. So I see we have a special guest here who wants to come in. It's Billy. How are you doing, man? Nice to meet you. I get in the middle. Yeah, it's good. We were talking about the development of hardcore and hip-hop music, because there were some similarities at the beginning. I talked about that hip-hop was, for instance, the first elements about rap music, breakdancing, and spraying art, and that the development over the time changed also in hardcore, and that hardcore young kids more about what kind of clothes is the artist wearing or I'm wearing, or looking on social media, how many likes it's getting for posts or something, but not originally more about the roots. That is, my opinion, it's getting more lost and lost and lost. And do you have maybe an idea, for instance, to not lose this, to teach kids, hey, look, it's okay, it's art of time, where you came up and where it's for you important, but that's not what hardcore is about. And maybe have you an idea to not lose the root connection of hardcore? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So with our career with Biohazard, we came from the underground. We were just fucking 4 kids from Brooklyn and just playing in small little tiny little clubs, keeping it real. MTV picked us up and liked us. Headbangers Ball, Beavis and Butthead loved us. What else? Fucking, we teamed up with Onyx, and then suddenly, it's not overnight because we were fucking on tour all the time, but suddenly it became a trend to what we were doing that was unique, mixing like our influences unintentionally, but it would come out. The hip hop influence, the hardcore, the punk, the metal, it was all just mixed together. And what happened was, kids who liked hardcore, and me being one of them, I only liked punk rock and hardcore. If it was something different, I fucking hated it. The guy, and growing up in the scene, that's how it was back then. When we crossed over into mixing different things, I think that what we created was, you know, we liked hip hop, we liked metal, we liked hardcore, we liked punk, and the scene was very separated and segregated, so where it didn't mix, but in our neighborhood it mixed, and so it just was natural for us to come out like that. What ended up being our core audience was other people who kind of liked hip-hop, liked hardcore, and liked metal, but they felt like when they went to a hardcore show, they couldn't wear a Slayer shirt. You know, there were stories, I remember at CBGB's, and Scott Ian from Anthrax came there and got chased down the fucking street. And there was a lot of beef in the New York hardcore scene because Anthrax, it was like they put the New York hardcore logo on their shirt. They were you know, maybe Scott Ian, who's a friend, was a fan of New York hardcore, but New York hardcore wasn't a fan of Anthrax, and it wasn't a welcome thing. But Biohazard, it was almost like we created an outlet for people who like different types of music. It was like, it's okay if you fuck hip hop, if you fuck with hardcore, if you fuck with metal, it's cool. We're all, and so people, it was more encompassing, more welcoming to the people who had more of an open mind, and things started to change in the scene. Not because of us. I'm not going to take claim for that, but we liked all different styles, and you know, suddenly, you know, it wasn't just about fucking leather jackets and spikes. It was baggy pants and skateboards, fucking everything oversized, and that trend came up. But one of the things that was always underlying theme is individuality. And there was an old, one of the guys from Monty Python who just passed away. Monty Python had a skit where there was a big giant crowd, and somebody on stage goes, "We are, I'm an individual," and everybody at the same time, like 10,000 people, "I'm an individual," but they're all doing the same thing. So the scene kind of, it goes in and out like that, where everybody kind of, you know, picks up on a certain trend, but the thing is, what I like, I'll never diss the underground. I like that when I felt like I didn't belong anywhere, the underground music scene gave me a place to feel welcome, to feel a part of, and I felt camaraderie, and I still do in being with my brothers and sisters, and people who kind of like are like, you know, we're a mass of people going, we are an individual, because we are, even though maybe we all wear an Agnostic Front t-shirt, or we all sing Gotta Go, or an H2O shirt, or whatever. We still are not part of the norm, grinding like everybody else. And if we do it at our pace. We all three of us are. We all have businesses and other things that we do outside of our bands. But we do it our way. You know what I mean? Ben does it with his thing, Neil does it with his thing, and I do it with my thing. And that's real hardcore to me, is like living life on your terms, your way, how you want to do it, and not giving a fuck about everybody else. You know, Biohazard since the beginning. First record I was playing piano, and I remember a lot of kids would come up to me like, "You can't fucking play piano. It's not hardcore." I'm like, "Oh yeah, hardcore is doing what you want to do, and not giving a fuck what anyone else thinks, and staying true to that." And it's not just in bands; it's in life in general. You know, like choosing what tattoos you want to fucking represent, what makes you you. And not caring what other people think. To me, I'm not with the school of, if you don't believe in what I believe in, fuck you, you're a fucking piece of shit, or you're less than me. Because there's a certain kind of elitist thing, hardcore, sometimes the hardcore scene or the punk scene or the metal scene thinks it's more like fuck the world, But I'm more of like, I do what I do, you do what you do, and it's cool, don't step on my toes, I'm not going to step on your toes.
Yeah, I think that's also completely fair, and it's a matter of respect.
I think that the trends and all that shit come and go, but I think deep down in the heart of everybody who's in the underground scene, that's how they feel.
So when it comes to Cutthroat LA and their new EP, what I like is they're mixing different styles we talked about earlier, like hip-hop or elements from hardcore. Beat down traditional stuff. Do you remember when you got together, you listened to the sound for the first time? What do you thought of that? You say, hey, I want to push them, I want to produce the record? Because I remember on your Instagram you were pushing them and said, hey, here's Cutthroat LA, they will come on the Persistence tour last year, check them out. And Fernando Schäfer told me, yeah, those guys from LA, Billy is doing something with them, keep an eye on them. Check them later out. But do you remember your first impression when you saw them?
Yeah, we've been working together since the beginning together. Neil's had this brewing for a while, and we first met when he filled in for Downset.
Downset, yeah.
And then we've been friends ever since, and close friends. And it's great to watch them grow from the first EP to this, and now new stuff brewing. So it's I always saw something big. It was a great dude, a good friend, and all the guys in the band, Ben and Bobby, I've known for a long time. To see them grow is awesome, and they become. We played here last year together.
Yeah,
probably the first two bands ever to play Persistence tour twice in a row. So they've really become a force. And they. Last night, every night we flip Wisdom of Change, so every other night it goes Cutthroat, BillyBio. And when usually I got to do my fucking warm-ups for the show, but when I can check them out, I check them out every night. And I'm like, oh, fuck, they're fucking working the crowd. And it's that competition amongst bands, it makes a tour better. All the bands at Persistence tour, some of us have been friends for 30 years since we were little kids. And everybody's kicking ass, and they're wet. And the amount of support and brotherhood is fucking awesome. And it's a healthy competition when count time goes on and they kick ass. Fucking Cutthroat has to fucking step it up and kick ass. Then I got to step it up. Then Wisdom has to step it up. Everybody. So by the time AF goes, the kids are whipped up into this frenzy of energy that's just fucking enormous. And it's just fucking explosive. Gorilla Biscuits close the nights with a fucking great set, and it's a great tour. I've done this tour. Biohazard played the first one. We headlined the first one. It was called Resistance. I think I played it. This is like the 5th time I played it, and this by far is my favorite tour.
Nice,
100%.
To build off of what your question was before that, this is a perfect example of what you're saying about how hardcore ages, and we're a brand new hardcore band, different style than everybody else, and then you have H2O, and then you have Gorilla Biscuits, and you have Agnostic and BillyBio, Wisdom and Chains, Street Dogs, all pretty different styles of hardcore. But this tour has been so fucking amazing because what I was saying, as long as you're true to what hardcore is and the way you live, and like Billy said, it's like we all stay in our own lane, we do our own shit, we're all older, we're responsible people, and we respect everybody around us. There hasn't been one bad day or moment on this tour. It's been fucking perfect amongst 40 people, and then you have the godfathers of hardcore and the babies. Like we've been around the scene long enough and been in enough bands and have toured, but Cutthroat is new to the scene, and we all meet right in the middle and have the same ideals.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter what style or you contribute to hardcore, and this is just my opinion. It doesn't matter what style you contribute to hardcore, as long as you're cool and you keep those fucking hardcore values. Whether you're a gangster rapper or you're Biohazard from fucking Brooklyn, we are the same exact people. We both do jiu-jitsu alike. We like the same things. We love the same things. We are passionate about our families, being a parent. This is why Billy and I connect even without music. Like, you know, on a daily basis, we're talking more about life than we are even talking about music. But that's hardcore to me.
I saw on the schedule, if I get it right, today and tomorrow, these are the last 2 dates, then the tour is over. What are your next plans? I mean, your record is out since 2 weeks. You did a tour. I know you are busy with Power Flow. What are your next plans?
I'll let Ben start, and then I'll fill in a little bit.
I think we're going to be sitting down and working hard on the full length, and we're writing. We've already got a couple songs demoed out, and that's the major plan. And then I'm sure a tour to support that.
New Cutthroat 2020.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is we have been so educated on this tour, especially I have. I mean, I fucking take notes on everything, and I'm so inspired watching all the fucking people that I've listened to who inspired me in the first place. Now I get to stand on stage and I get to study them. Like, think about being a student and having this type of an internship. This is where my head's at. I'm so fucking motivated to go home and then the next day start working. We've already made plans to get in a studio and start pre-producing and start rehearsing and coming up with like some more fucking choruses that people can sing along to. And it's like, we have so much shit in our head right now because of this tour. We're gonna go fucking blow our load all over a record.
Nice.
Billy's gonna produce it again. And like, I'm just so super. More than I'm fucking sad that this went so fast. Like literally, I'll cry in London. Like I'm heartbroken that this flashed by, but it's been a fucking amazing. And the amount of education I have gotten in the last 2 weeks, condensed and refined, is gonna come. You'll see how the next record turns out. It's gonna be a fucking monster. This record is good, and it shows the differences. But watch when we can actually. Fucking come off of this. The first one was a demo. This to me is like the first sound of Cutthroat, the band. Our next record, our real sophomore record, is going to be fucking a monster, and that's where my head is. We have some talks of tours planning with, you know, I don't really want to say just yet. We got to see which one pans out, but we're grinders. We're going to hit the road as often as possible. We're going to be back to Europe as soon as possible, and you know, we want to hit South America. We want to do some more stuff in the States, and really it's up to our manager, Billy, where we're going.
So guys, I see our time is running out. There's one question left.
Oh,
I forgot you. What are your plans? Sorry. Oh yeah, repeat.
See this? Since I was a little kid, since I was younger, I wanted to do something with Bridge 9, and I got a chance to do an EP with them. It was awesome. It sold out, proud to say. But the cover work, if you check this out, it's a Molotov cocktail. So my shit is just drop bomb after bomb after bomb. So 2020, in addition to the new Cutthroat, there'll be new BillyBio, which I'm almost done, and new Power Flow. And we got to give props to Count Time too.
Oh yeah,
this is about Cutthroat right now, but the homies in Count Time are
also around. They're brothers of ours from LA, and it's awesome. They've been around forever, and Junior really sets the underground scene for LA hardcore, and he's booked us a bunch, and like they're fucking troopers. They deserve to be here, and now they're working with this dude, so their record's gonna be fucking fire too. So
that will also be out this year. Their new record.
It'll be out this year, and you know, they're killing it every night here on Persistence. So like, it's a fucking breath of fresh air to be able to know that, like, and it's cool that Billy's kind of masterminding the thing, and kind of LA hardcore is very prevalent and relevant now. Fucking, you know, respect to the OGs, but there's a new spark, and there's a new little movement of hardcore now coming out of LA, and Count Time's been around, and we're coming out new, but Billy's kind of helped shapeshift and open up some of those underground doors again for us. So
it took a New Yorker to go to LA to fucking
whatever, bro.
It's very interesting.
No, that's not a diss. I know. Come in with the hustle and fucking bring my boys up in the world.
I think it's very interesting because if I look at the bill, there are a lot of New York hardcore bands, and you are like the glue between LA, the West Coast and the East Coast, holding it all together.
We're more like the piece of one family.
It's more like the piece of bubblegum, but
from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Gotta go.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Our time is unfortunately running out. There's one question left, and our magazine is called Moshpit Passion. Do you have maybe interesting personal moshpit experience you want to share? You can do it. Billy told us last year one with this Nazi kid. He came after the show, and you teach him, hey, look, don't say everything what your parents told you. That was a very interesting one. Who wants first to share anything?
I don't have anything great.
Okay, so it was my 19th birthday. My buddy Ryan Smith, he had me double-fisted at the fucking Gibson Amphitheater. Then it was Pantera. It wasn't Reinventing the Steel. It was, I forgot which one it was. It might have been Vulgar Display of Power. And there was this big fucking skinhead in the fucking crowd, and I'm this little wildin' 19-year-old all double-fisted, all fucked up, and he just kept feeding me drinks all night. Well, it was like, first band came on, I think it was like Rob Zombie or some shit, and I'm like pushing everybody, trying to get the pit started, and I thought I was the shit. I was just started doing Muay Thai, and I had like 2 moves down, so I was feeling good, all drunk, and I kept pushing this dude who had Fearless tattooed on his stomach, and I thought he was a big pussy. So I'm like, this guy doesn't want to pit, and then finally Pantera comes on. And I think it was fucking Hostile or some shit. We're going around, and all of a sudden, I get hit with an elbow. I get knocked the fuck out. I lose both my shoes, and the dude literally picks me up off the ground and has me and carries me back to my friend. And I'm like in fetal position as he's holding me, and he hands me to my friend. And he knocked me the fuck out. Now every time, and Ryan rolls to a lot of shows with me. I wasn't that big back then. I was just I was like this tall with ears like this fucking big and fucking string bean. But I had a couple moves. I knew how to throw a roundhouse and whatnot. But anyways, now every time I go to a show with Ryan, this fool will be like, watch out, there's Fearless, and I'm fucking this fucking guy. So it's an ongoing inside joke between me and like a couple of my friends. Watch out, here comes Fearless, because that fool knocked me the fuck out. So Pantera is one of my all-time favorite bands, but the nuttiest pit I've ever been in is the Suicidal Tendencies pit. Suicidal Tendencies in XL, I believe it was 1989 at the Reseda Country Club, and that was fucking apeshit. Some skinheads pulled up, and then the Suey Skins fucking stomped them out. And I just remember boots, blood, and I think that was one of the shows where they're like, if you ever have another show like this, you're gonna never play in California again. And then they had one more show where I think somebody got stabbed in a mosh pit at a Suicidal show, and then they got banned from LA or California for a while. But those are my mosh pit experiences.
Crazy. Billy, you?
I have stories for days, bro. But let's stick on the Pantera thing, because Neil set the tone. We were on tour with, we did a lot of touring with Pantera, very close to those dudes, had a lot of great times, but this one specific time we were in Baltimore, and the bouncer, the crowd was fucking crazy, and during our set, the bouncers, this kid came over the barricade, a friend of ours, Brian Cross, and the bouncers grabbed him, beat the shit out of him. We stopped. It was a big fucking thing. They threw him outside. We tried to get him back in. It's a long story what happened. But they paralyzed him. Put him in a fucking wheelchair for life. He's fucked. He's completely paralyzed from the neck down. He can talk. That's it. Drink, read, and fucked him for life. So ever since then, and even before then, but as things got bigger, it's a different thing when you're on a bigger stage, because there's way more people, way more people than a little fucking 200 capacity punk hardcore show. So you don't need barricades at those small shows, but at the bigger shows, it's for the safety of the kids, and security are also for the safety. One of the things, if I ever see, I will fucking drop motherfuckers as fast as fucking lightning if I see them fucking with the kids. It's when you come to see any of us play, you come see me play, you'll be safe. You'll never get fucking punched. If you do, that dude's gonna be handled quick. So for Brian Cross, a little story about that. He suffered at the hands of these fucking steroid assholes, bouncers. And when the great thing about what MAD does, and a lot, even Positive Records, the shows in Europe, the security 99% of the time are always kids from the scene. So they're cool with the kids. And we've seen less issues in Europe than we have in the States. But shit still happens.
It's very sad. And guys, thank you very much for your time, for the interview. Very important. Cutthroat, LA, Reflekt, EP out, BillyBio, new EP out now. Thank you very much for watching. Follow them also on social media. See you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Will you stick